Good evening, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're right, 'cause it's time to have ourselves a little yapping session. So I am going to focus discussing the Sinotype collection. It's gone a bit fun. Prices have kind of surged. There's been a big shift in interest, it seems, which is a bit odd because about 2 weeks ago it was quite stagnant. So seeing this shift in interest, I thought, you know what, I've got to do a nice progress video, a nice update. So first of all, I want to introduce this rust store right here. So good day, Ruskin enjoyers. Here's the first 24 hours of sales with the current rust store. Now, compared to the previous week, and just to remind you, that was August Force Wipe. There's a lot of people that turned up, a lot of people playing Rust. A lot of people saw these skins, 12 skins in total. Lots of purchases, pretty cool. This week, only 8 skins. Apparently not everybody was super happy, fair enough. You all have your own opinions. You can comment now if you want. What did you like from there? What did you not like? I mean, if you want to. But, you know, the first satchel charge skin to be accepted in a year and a half. The first marketable wooden double door to be accepted in about a year. Cool looking locker. Another pair of fine looking booties. Yes, JPEG booties. But overall, looking at the sales, it is tamer compared to the previous week, which is perfectly fine if you're looking at skins as a nice investment and whatnot. Profit is profit. Yeah, profit is good, Tez. Profit is good. Profit is nice. But in regards to what we see, you know, 8,000, around 8,000 for the doors, that's fine. These have dropped a little bit more. They're down to 7,400, 7,200. Still good, but looking at these, they're probably going to do around 15, maybe 18,000 subscribers. Very rough estimate, just to say. But it's fine. I've got no complaints. But considering I just mentioned tame sales, I think I now want to focus talking about Sinotype tools. Now, if we could just quickly compare to the previous week. So just to remind you, it was a little bit late. But the first 24 hours of sales for the August Force Wipe Rust Store for 2025 was pretty ridiculous. We had multiple skins with over 10,000 subscribers. But most notably, Sinotype Ore Large Box, almost 26,000 subscribers. Now, a good couple of weeks back, things weren't looking very pretty for the Sinotype skins. To give you some context, a lot of the newer skins, except firearms, that's been its own world for a very long time. But like ammo, meds, components, initially they weren't looking very pretty. They were just about $3, $2.50, $3. They were just kind of stuck around that price, slightly above their rust store price. Barders were still there to keep the price up. They weren't really moving that much. And to see more and more skins being accepted consecutively, this was becoming a bit of worry. It looked like we we're going to see a bit of a slump, a bit of a crash happening fairly soon. So Sinotype Ore, that was the highest selling skin for the first 24 hours compared to all the other Sinotype large boxes. But over to here, we've noticed a little bit of a difference. Only 20,895. Only. So that actually matches up quite nicely with the components box from 2 weeks ago. Okay, interesting. But we haven't really noticed trouble. We haven't really noticed problems. Today, I went ahead, I looked at the Steam market. I'm noticing all the Sinotype skins are on the front page earlier. They've been stuck on it like magnets. It's been ridiculous. But I looked at the prices and I realised, what's going on? You might be sitting there and saying, well, you know, what's wrong, Hedge? Well, take a look at this. I put this tweet up a good couple hours ago. I said, Sinotype storage collection progressing very nicely. In the past week or so, all the boxes saw an increase in demand and have steadily risen up in price. The situation really did look stagnant about a couple of weeks ago, but now it's just had a massive 180. It's just done a complete 180. Gone from hardly moving to... So, here you go. A little bit earlier, Sinotype components, a fairly recent skin, only recently became marketable. Almost $8. What? Yeah. What? And I'll talk more about that in a bit, don't you worry. But yeah, that's what its sales history looks like. So initially came out just kind of sitting around $3 initially. Then it kind of got up to $4. And in the past week, doubles. And in fact, it's gone even higher than that. It's more than doubled in price. Ridiculous. Is it? We'll talk about that in a bit. So, yep, this firearms, as I said, it's been in its own world for a very long time. Firearms came out first. I initially, you know, so if I go back, I just want to remind all of you, I put this video up, didn't I? I said, okay, Looks like we've got a brand new storage collection potentially. But I basically said it wouldn't surprise me if the very first skin is going to be the one that gets the most attention, especially as more and more skins are accepted. Wouldn't surprise me if that ends up, becoming the most expensive. Evidently, yeah, that happened. But I also made a point that in the past, I kept track of the progress with the graffiti storage collection. I talked about how initially things were a fair bit stagnant, and it took a while. It took a good year or so to see the prices actually get somewhere. I pointed out that partly the reason why graffiti storage collection actually managed to progress and actually rise up in price quite nicely is the fact that we had a 3-year break of no brand new storage collections. Sinotype Hype has completely laughed at this and just pushed it aside and just gone up in price ridiculously. So I know I had my expectations, but it really does look like we've just gone far beyond this already instantly. Like, I thought this would take more time. I'm still concerned as we approach October time, and I am concerned that this might be a bubble that bursts. So we'll go through the skins in a bit, and I will showcase to you all the skins in game, because to my surprise, people apparently still can't read what it says. So yep, let's also showcase to you Sinotype Ammo. This sold what, like 35,000 subscribers, 36,000, comfortably doubled in price, but literally about 2 weeks ago, it was barely hanging on. There's barely about $2.50. Orders were still there, of course, as I said, but something fishy's going on. So I actually noticed this, in my Rust rotation video. I made note that, hang on a minute, some of these skins are starting to rise up in price really nicely as of recent. But even the newer ones, even the ones that sold a lot more compared to the initial first view. So if we could just quickly go over to here now. If I could go to smm.app, look up the Sinotype collection, get a good look at this, right? As you can see, 31,200 subscribers, 36,000 subscribers, 37,000 subscribers, 40,289, and 46,987. Essentially 47,000 there. They've all just instantly worked out. But Sinotype components, quite a fair bit more compared to these, and yet higher in price. This is where I'm under the assumption that a group, or rather an individual with a lot of Steam wallet to spend, has just gone and done some buyouts. That's what I'm under the impression with. So it's nice to see the progress, it's nice to see the positivity, and some of you might be sitting there questioning, Hedge, should I sell right now? Let me tell you this. I still stand with the idea that we're probably going to see these dip around October time. I don't think this is going to hold forever. I do still expect this to progress nicely in the long term. I'm talking about a year's time, 2 years' time. There is still the worry of potentially seeing another storage collection appear immediately after this. Or maybe we have another 3-year break. Don't see another one until 2028. Well, we'll see. But clearly a lot of people do like these. Perhaps a lot of people jumped onto this because you can't have skin books anymore on certain servers. Good point. I'm guessing a lot of people greatly appreciated being able to organize their base by just quickly requesting, hey, can I just have all the neon storage skins? Oh yeah, thank you. Well, no, now you gotta buy them. Ha ha ha. So maybe that caused the increase in demand. We just had the August 4th swipe, and it's around there where we noticed the prices suddenly shifting and going up in price. And so, let's go ahead and go through all these skins. So, Sinotype. Let's go get a good look. So you might notice that the prices have kind of cooled down a fair bit. I get the feeling that a lot of people have now become aware that the prices have suddenly surged like today. So more people listed theirs, as you can see, 20 right there. Some people, they just can't stop themselves. Honestly, if that guy just listed 1 or 2, that'd be fine. Listing 20, what are you doing? So yeah, I don't think that'll be going above $30 for a while. We'll see. But when you look at the amount of listings, very thin. I'm not surprised to see it's easily climbed up. But as I scroll down, just look at its sales history. This is like 5 weeks. This was a $2.49 skin. And again, just to remind all of you, we didn't know if this was going to become a storage collection. It looked cool, but we didn't know. But evidently, it did. So, cool. So the price has risen ever so nicely. And I've got to point out, I actually sold 10 of mine for about $12. I need to get some funds on one of my accounts. And I was like, well, you know what? I bought a whole bunch of these. If I sold 10, I basically paid off everything. I kind of regret it, but here's a good thing that I'll tell all of you, right? if you made a profit, you won. You succeeded. And you know what? With that new profit, you can put it towards new projects, new adventures, new investments. All right? I'm the guy who bought 50 Christmas lights. Yes, the Christmas lights that are now selling for $200. They've just reached a new all-time high price. All right? These came out in 2017. Who would have guessed that they would never, ever be brought back? Who would have guessed in 7 years after they initially came out, or 8 years actually, because we're about to have Christmas again, who would have guessed that they would have gone above $200? I never would have guessed. I bought 50 of them for about $2.50, and I sold the majority of them for about $10. I quadrupled my money, right? I quadrupled. Wonderful profit. But if I still had all 50 of them right now, I'm thinking I'd be a lot happier. But you know what? 8 years ago, I didn't have that many funds. I made all that profit, and with that profit, I put it towards new things, put it towards new investments. And you know what? In many of those instances, it worked out wonderfully. Even more profit, and it went towards more adventures. And that's how Hedge eventually ended up with over 50,000 Ruskins. Point made. But it's also Counter-Strike TF2 and other things. So anyway, don't feel bad that you might have missed out on some profit. Yeah, okay, if it was thousands, maybe it might hurt. But if you put that towards other things, don't cry. Stay strong. But anyway, so if you decide, you know what, maybe I feel like the money now is going to be perfectly fine. Maybe I'll take the risk, sell now, and see how things turn out around October time. Fair enough. I wouldn't judge you. I might. But I wouldn't judge you. The profit is good. Just don't do what that guy over there is doing. 20 listings. What on earth are you doing? Sell one at a time. Two at a time if you're really desperate. But listen. Be calm. Relax. Let's see if things progress even better. Here's another little extra side tangent. A lot of people missed out on the Sinotype firearms because for a while this was kind of sitting around $15, wasn't it? I get the feeling people were looking around for a replacement. Well, it just so happens we have other storage collections. Neon storage, scientific storage, and graffiti storage. This is now the cheapest one. It's weird, but that's now the cheapest one. So, scientific gun storage, this has always been around $20. This is like the best performing scientific storage skin. So don't sit there and say, oh, it went up in price because of this. No, it's always been like reasonably good. But I'm very much under the impression the previously cheapest one, the graffiti gun storage, I can't help but assume a lot of people probably just thought, you know what, that's probably the best thing that goes with Sinotype. I'll grab that as a replacement for firearms. Like, I'm not joking, about 2 weeks ago, this was selling for around $7. So if I could just quickly go over to here. It was very calm. No issues. About $7 towards the end of July. Now it sells for 18. Oh, 19. Oh, looks like more got bought. So, yeah. So, funnily enough, the original, actually, technically speaking, you actually had the old ammo box and X point and all that. But the glow-in-the-dark one, the original, is now the cheapest. So, it's a bit funny, but yeah, just want to bring that up. Now let's talk about the boxes that appeared after firearms, see how they've progressed, because it is a bit of a surprise of how they've turned out. So earlier we just saw that the Sinotype ammo had a listing of about $5 earlier, and there were purchases of $5. But it really, really is surprising to me to see how this has turned out, because literally about 2 weeks ago, it was stagnant. It was stuck around its Rust Ore price, about $2.50, slightly above. Not really profitable. But the barter's always there to keep the price up. But I just can't help but assume someone's just jumped in and just bought out like all the stock and tried to force it to go up in value. Force the demand, the increase in demand and whatnot. Because a lot of people have now switched on and realised, well, what's going on here? So, like, you could see it's kind of slowly trending downwards, stops, and what on earth happened? I'd love to show you liquidity. Oh, it works here. Okay, that's good then. Do you see how it's just like suddenly surging in like purchases here? 935 sold at the end of July. And you get another massive stack. Now, it also coincides with the acceptance of newer Sinotype skins. So you could just sit there and say, you know what? Maybe it is just genuine demand. Or maybe some rich individuals notice that, oh, hang on a minute, we're actually going to get a full-fledged proper collection. Okay then. Looks like it's going to be a pretty, a nice long-term investment. I'll go buy a massive chunk of them now. All right. because they were basically around the same price. Maybe people foresaw that, okay, give it a year or so, maybe a double in price. I'll happily buy them now, wait it out, and yeah. So it does coincide with the acceptances of newer skins being accepted. But it is surprising to see that this was basically, like, this was actually slightly below its Rust Ore price at the end of July, but then, so pretty interesting turnaround. But yeah, this has had some ridiculous sales in the past 24 hours, and I actually can see it right here for meds. 422 have sold in the past 24 hours. So $5 as well. Scroll, 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 scroll. Look again, very thin. Not surprising to see it rose up. This also is like slightly above $3 at one point. Wasn't really doing that insane, but look at that. Talk about insane. Well, so something definitely fishy is going on here. Yeah, coinciding with new releases. But why does this suddenly shift so much? So much. Perhaps this one wasn't like bought out as much compared to the previous ones that we've mentioned, but I can't help but assume a lot more. So yeah, pretty interesting. Feel free to comment below your thoughts. Do you reckon there's a group of people that have bought a majority so they can walk away with the big fat stack of profits? Or do you reckon it's mostly just like actual genuine demand? Actual genuine demand. Like, I'll definitely say there's a very, very large amount of people that definitely are very invested into these. And as I said, with Skinbox now gone, people want to have a nice option for a storage collection. Sinotype has been getting quite a lot of love, but quite a lot of people have complained about, oh, they've got the pictures and the text on the wrong side. I can't read the text. People sitting there saying, I can't speak Chinese, I can't speak Mandarin. You people are hopeless. Don't worry. We'll learn how to read in a bit, don't you worry. Oh yeah, we're going to do that. But over to here, Sinotype components, a fairly, like, recent skin, 2 weeks ago, first became marketable. It was pushing up to $8 earlier, but again, now more people have become aware, and of course you can see here someone's listed 25, much like we just saw with the firearms. Some people just cannot stop themselves. They unload a big fat chunk of stock, and then it just ruins all the momentum. So yeah, looks like someone made a big move today. Over 400 sold the past 24 hours. Scroll, 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 and yeah, very similar to meds. It was just kind of doing all right, and so I've already made a mention of that, showcased that on the tweet. It is pretty wild, but if I show liquidity, come on, there you go. So initially there's a lot. So yeah, cool. What are your predictions? Mint koi? Now's not the time, but I'll talk about that a little bit in a bit, don't you worry. It's Sinotype focus, buddy. It's a video. And then over to here, Sinotype Ore. This has only just recently become marketable, quite literally, like 2 days ago, because it's an abnormal skin. $6. $6? What? But that was the one that was selling ridiculously. That was the one that sold a little bit too much. That was the one where it looked like we're going to start seeing problems with oversaturation and whatnot. Nope, $6. It was actually pushing up to 7 earlier. Again, people, yeah. So anyway, I am incredibly surprised. 2 days. 2 days, it has, like, got close to tripling in price. 520 sales. So, yeah. I did not expect this to happen so quickly. There's a lot more people involved. A lot more people enjoying the game. A lot more potential Rust skin enjoyers. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right. So, I get it. But now, of course, we have tools. It's currently in the Rust store. Is this just going to be an easy meal ticket? Is it just going to be easy profit? And the next question is, how far are we going to go with this collection? So first of all, let's just give this a nice talk. Tools, next skin, very nice. I've also asked quite recently, hey guys, what would you personally prioritize for the next skins? I've already mentioned this story about 4 or 5 times already. I initially suggested the idea of cars. Skin Creator was kind of asking, like, well, is car parts popular? And it kind of dawned on me he probably isn't fully well aware of what people would like most. And that's why I kept asking you, hey, can you comment, what would you like to see next being made in the Sinotype collection? I personally wrote down clothing, armor, explosives, farm or seeds, either one, something for farming, wood, stone, frags. I asked people for a response. Electricity, coal, Dropbox, understood. But I think we might have a limit. So, let's go over to here. Let me just remind all of you. Neon storages, the large boxes. So if I go to here, I just want to remind you, the large box portion of the set, that did 18 in total. 18 skins are right here. Cool. Scientific, that did 17 in total, which you can see right there. And no other, like, deplorables or anything. And the most recent one, graffiti storage, why, that did only 15. Only. I don't know how far we're going to go, right? But I just can't help but assume we're probably going to have a pretty interesting thing happening just around the corner. Halloween. Now, I've actually brought this up. I've mentioned that I think we might have a break where we might not have a Sinotype skin in a rust store for a week or two, and then it will return back to normal. I don't think that's going to happen now. I had a Mandela effect. I was under the assumption Graffiti Storage Collection had a week break. It never did. It was consecutive. One after the other, 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 after the other. 15 weeks in a row. I got that wrong. I apologise there. But I need to show you a calendar. Why are we looking at a calendar? Oh, I'll make sense in a second. We have 6 skins currently in total right now. Yes. Now, let me remind you. Last year, we had 3 weeks of Halloween and 3 weeks of Christmas, correct? I'm not sure if that's a thing that's going to be a staple now, as in every year from now, it's going to be 3 weeks of Halloween, 3 weeks of Christmas. Don't know. It's usually only been 2. How many weeks until we potentially see the first Halloween rust store? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we're going to see October 16, 23, and 30 being 3 weeks of Halloween, we probably only have 8 more skins potentially, and then a 3-week break. Now, there's the possibility of potentially seeing more skins being accepted afterwards, like November 4 swipe and all that. Okay. But, yeah, when they also picked out of order when they were submitted, though. That is also true. You're correct, Micro. They were submitted out of order because, like, if I can remember with the graffiti collection, there's an initial batch, and they started picking some out. And I think we're waiting for a bit, weren't we? Assuming that clothes was going to be next, but they picked coal. I think coal was waiting for a very long time. You're correct to mention that. So, is it all going to end by October time? Which is also interesting because we were very concerned, and I've said this many times, usually around October, we see a lot of skins drop off to a new low point. During September, most kids go back to school. Player count most likely will drop off, and it usually does. We also have the naval update on the horizon. There's been mentions whether it might be out for October, November, we'll see, but if it does end in October, we'll only have 14 skins in total, or 15 potentially. If it does continue, all right, maybe we're going to go all the way up to 18. But when you consider what you would personally prioritize, like just these here, clothing, armor, explosives, something for farming, wood, stone, frags, maybe one more, whether it's going to be electricity, Dropbox, or coal. You've got 8 there. So, what would you personally prioritize if you only had 8 more? Do you believe it'll go above 14? Do you believe it'll continue in November? As much as you can sit there and say, oh, well, clearly Face Punch are going to keep doing it because they make tons of money. There's been many instances in the past where they could have made tons of money and they've refused, or they just didn't do it. Don't just assume everything's always for profit, okay? Fuel storage, that's a great shout. Maybe you could pair it up with cars, or to do a garage stuff and whatnot. Anyway, sulfur, maybe ore is for sulfur as well. So maybe it might get generalized. Maybe we'll get some generalized things. Who knows? So keep an eye out. Next Monday, you're going to see the next storage skin, whatever it might be. Maybe he's going to quite literally read the order I put it in. Maybe it'll be close. Who knows? But we'll see. So, cool. We got that all, considered, understood. So, is it going to be 15, 16, 17, 18, or 14? Maybe it randomly stops at 10. We don't know. But if it does go all the way into October, maybe we won't see that much of a drop if we still have the hype. But eventually, it will stop. And I know some people are like, but Hedge, couldn't he make a small box collection next? Well, Jack, the man behind the Neon collection, he only got small boxes accepted after what? 3 years later? Yeah, 2021 to 2024. I don't know, but I will point out the man behind the graffiti collection, He also tried to do small boxes. I'm not joking. I could probably look that up right now. So if I go over to here, used to show up over at the bottom here, but if I go hover over workshop, let's go see this for ourselves. You'll see Graffiti Storage Collection. They tried to get small boxes accepted. There you go. And a garage door. That'd been cool. So they actually tried to expand. Once they saw Neon Storage got, success from that, they've even tried somewhat recently. This was submitted in 2025. Yep, July 8. No. So, who knows, right? Who knows how far things can be or what Facepunch will allow. But you know how to sit there and question, what are you going to do next? If I could just quickly go over to here. We're talking about Reptile Hunter earlier. Sinotype. Let me tell you, I'm tempted. I am tempted. I bought a batch of these. I got some Abadas as well. Maybe I'll just go sell another 10. Just periodically sell them in groups of 10. We'll see. But don't unload all of your stock. Be a little bit smarter and patient. It helps out a lot, especially with your profits. Alright? If you try and rush everything out, other people also notice that you're unloading everything and they'll panic and they'll do it and then the prices suffer. If you do that around now, oh gosh, October will probably be very, very rough. So, we'll see how that progresses. We'll see how things turn out. If you make a bunch of profit now selling these, you have quite a lot to work with in October time. Like I said, I sold a whole bunch of those Christmas lights before. Yeah, the profit was good at the time, but if I held on longer, could have walked away with a lot more profit. But it's what I did with the profit next. If you go sell these and make a profit, maybe you could go invest into things that go down to a new low price around October time. And if it bounces up, rebounds ever so nicely as we go through January time. And once again, let me remind you, January 4 swipe is expected to be the 1st of January 2026. Especially with the naval update around the corner as well. Are we going to see a lot of momentum like we did last year? World update comes out, lots of people jump in, lots of people enjoying themselves. Towards the end of the year, lots of people turning up, lots of people playing, prices go up ever so nicely, and we got a record-breaking number of people playing in January 4 Swipe 2025, with prices going up to wonderful, wonderful prices. Oh yes, brand new all-time highs all over the place. So we'll see, alright, we'll see. And now lastly, I thought, you know what? Wouldn't it be a wonderful idea if we go in game, get a good look at all the skins so far, and teach you how to read? And here we are. It's time to showcase. So, what a wonderful view in the background, and what a wonderful display we have over here. It's Sinotype Collection. So yeah, which one's your favourite? I do like the snake on the meds. That's a very nice little touch there. So don't forget, feel free to comment below. What would you personally prioritise to come out next? And I will ask you, based on the pictures we see, is it actually understandable? Like, is the colour scheme like helpful to be able to distinguish, which one each one is? As I said a little bit earlier, some people aren't very happy with the positioning of the pictures and, well, the text. And I'm not joking, I'm going to literally sit here and teach you how to read. Oh yeah, we're going to do it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. So, do you have any issue with the pictures, the colour scheme? I will mention this. There's only so many colours, and if we're expecting probably maybe another 10, what will all the other colours be? So, okay, fair enough. Right then, so, shall we go ahead and learn how to read? Time to learn how to read. So, I've got it all nicely set up like you normally would. And I understand the awkwardness in which when you're looking at it this way, it might be a little bit hard to understand. I understand. Look, I get it, okay? You didn't learn how to read. So we're going to sit down with each other right now. I'm going to get through this together, right? Hold my hand. Come on. Hold my hand. We'll do this, right? So as you can clearly see here, it says G-U-N-S. It says guns. It's not in Mandarin. It's not in Chinese. That is English in a stylized font. I have to keep saying this all the time. So many people have commented saying, oh, I thought it was another language. No, it's English. G-U-N-S. Yes. Top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Guns. Chat. Can you say guns with me? G-U-N-S. Guns. Wow. They shoot people. It's fun. Now let's move over to here. Now what do we see right here? Ammo. A-M-M-O. Ammo. Ammo. Can you say ammo with me? I'm like a little kid show. So yeah, that says ammo. Let's just pull around and go over to here. Can you read that? What does it say? Meds. Short for medicine. Or med sticks. M-E-D-S. Meds. Now let's move over to here. Comps. Short for components. C-O-M-P-S. Comps. Come on now. Honestly, look. Is it honestly that hard to read? C-O-M-P-S. Comps. So yeah. Ore. O-R-E. Ore. And then over to here. Tools. T-O-O-L-S. So yeah. I hope I helped you all out. Learning how to read the Sinotype collection. Maybe when we get all the rest of the collection, we can go through all of it together all over again. But yeah, I hope you actually noticed now. And again, I would have thought the colour schemes. would have stood out nicely. Would be a lot more noticeable and whatnot. So again, we could go through this. There's guns. There's ammo. There's meds. There's comps. There's ore. And there's tools. So, red, a sort of orangey yellow, light green, kind of like purple, white for ore, and a lighter yellow for tools. Again, I did give the warning. There's a fairly decent chance that we might see some very similar colours being used. It happened with neon storage. Pretty sure it happened with graffiti and scientific as well. But at the end of the day, are you feeling confident with the whole collection? Do you reckon we're going to see some sweet, delicious profit go even further from here? I don't know if any other skin will match up to the price that we've seen with firearms. I'd be impressed if it did happen. But let's just see how things turn out from here. And let's see if the skins that you want being accepted next actually get made and actually get accepted. Who knows? Maybe it does end up getting its own batch of small boxes, but I would rather the skin creator focus trying to get as many large boxes as he can first finished. Personally, I also said, for anyone who might sit there and say food, shouldn't there be a Sinotype fridge? So, yeah. Right then, best of luck with you and your profits. Again, if you think it's good enough now to sell, you wouldn't be the only person. There's definitely other people. I've already sold some as well. But I'm a little bit different compared to you. I can sell other skins and keep myself afloat. I don't think you can. So if you feel like, yeah, I kind of need the money, don't feel bad, don't feel ashamed. If you've made profit, you've still succeeded. Keep that in your head. Keep yourself up nice and happy. But yeah, wouldn't be the first time anyone's done anything like that. So let's see how things progress from here now. Maybe I might do a sequel video where we see the next batch of skins, whether it might be another 6. Maybe it ends at 12. Maybe we actually get all the way up to 15 or 18. But do we see another storage collection appearing after this? And you might wonder, why do I keep bringing that up? Well, it's the idea of, if we see another brand new collection, it will take away the attention from this one. And that has kind of happened before with the previous storage collections, so we'll see, we'll see. And again, if I could just take control real quickly. Here's a first-person view, looking at that, looking at that, looking at that, looking at that. Crouch, yeah. I'm genuinely surprised people didn't realise what they said. Right, that's it, that's a wrap. So thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. And let's see how things progress from here now. We're about to enter September time. Is everything going to get slightly worse? And will things truly drop off in October? Especially with this naval update just on the horizon. Cows as well. Will we see a lot of people turn up for that? Kind of happened last year with the World Update. Will history repeat itself? Let's wait and see.